then, people, and welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. It is Monday, the 6th of September. We are now the start of a new week, which means Liverpool are just 6 days away now. I, for one, cannot wait. But this is your daily Leeds, everything concerning Leeds United in and around Elland Road at Thorp. But before we get into the video, please smash a like on the video, share, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Thank you for those that joined me for the England watch along as well. That was a lot of fun. And of course, Patrick Bamford made his debut, but more on that in a sec. Let's get into it. And this is the moment when I take a stand. So guys, we are going to start with a bit of an international roundup. Of course, England played Andorra, won the game 4-0. And Patrick Bamford, on his debut, wore the number 9 shirt. He became the 33rd player to represent England on the international stage. First forward to make his Three Lions debut since Alan Smith back in 2001. And it was his birthday, man, and he was wearing the number 9. I mean, it's perfect. The only thing that was missing, of course, was a goal. I went big on him. I went 4-0, him to score first. I went Bamford to score 3 or more. Didn't happen, though. Look, it was a decent debut. Don't listen to what football Twitter tell you or anyone outside of Leeds tell you, because obviously all they're going to do is throw shade because he didn't score against a pub team in Andorra. That's always the rhetoric that comes. But for me, he played really well. He made plenty of runs. Wasn't found, of course. I think Henderson just kept onto it too many times and tried to find the perfect pass, a lot of it. But he led the line well. He was unfortunate as well, you know, that nothing fell for him. I think there was one run that he made from Bukayo Saka that he almost got on the end of. But other than that, a lot of it wasn't really put through to him. And to be honest, I was surprised to see the changes made, especially Bamford for Kane. I didn't understand it, you know. Tasker on Twitter actually made a great point. He said it's really annoying. Give Bamford 15 minutes with the likes of Grealish and Mount, who can create, who can beat the man and get balls into the box. And if he's then not delivered, then bring Kane on, which is a fair assessment. And Ian Wright came out after the game and said he was absolutely gutted for Bamford that he came off. He said, look, I played in plenty of those games where you're running around, you're looking for chances, the balls aren't coming when you're making good runs. And he did make some great runs. Ian Wright did some analysis on him at half time, you know, so if people are saying anything different, they're talking wet. But yeah, Ian Wright went on to say, because if the game had gone on, he'd have probably got something. He'd have got that chance. I don't know if Henderson would have allowed to let him take that penalty had we have got that when Bamford was on the pitch. But look, it was a good day in the office. He's, of course, Harry Kane's elite, isn't he? He's up there. But England know that they can call on him, you know. There was a few times where he played like a ball that was a little bit heavy for Lingard, but it was good movement. You know, there was the one where Lingard had it chalked off for offside where he dinked it over. That was a lovely pass as well. We know the qualities of Patrick Bamford, and he will come again. And he's had his international debut on his birthday. I mean, it's perfection. And Leeds having, you know, players in the England squad, not just 1-2, and there'll be more coming off that conveyor belt. Next will be Jack Harrison, I'm sure of it. So it's lovely to see. Another player as well who smashed it on the international stage, yet to see him in a Leeds shirt. Sorry, he's not English, he's Welsh. Was of course Dan James. Big shout out LUFC Day for this match. I guess stats after the game. He had 90.3% pass accuracy, 64 touches, 28 out of 31 successful passes, 10 ball recoveries, 9 duels won, 4 successful crosses, 4 out of 7 successful take-ons, 4 tackles won, 3 chances created, 3 shots, 2 interceptions, and 1 assist. A massive performance from Leeds United's new signing. He already sounds like a Leeds United player. I see Manchester United fans coming on saying, this is the Dan James that performs on the international stage that we'll see in a Leeds United shirt, because we'll be more suited to his style of play. You know, he won't be expected to break down these low blocks. And by the way, the pass for Bale, the assist, it's perfect. It's exactly where Bale wants it. It's in a tight area and it's just behind him, enough for him to whip his left foot at it. And it's a last-minute winner for Wales. And just hearing all them numbers gets me salivating. I can't wait for Dan James to put on that Leeds United shirt. And the Wales boss, Rob Page, has been saying as much as well. He said in his pre-match, he said, look, he's going to a great club with a well-respected manager who, in my opinion, will get the best out of him. He's going to be really excited about that as a prospect. You know, it's a 4-year contract, so he can get his head down now and really enjoy his football. He went on to say, everyone's seen the ability that DJ's got. You know, we see snippets of it at international level. He's been first class for Wales, but he says at Leeds with a manager like Bielsa, who demands high intensity for 90 minutes, you know, he said, we're going to benefit from it massively. And this is the flip, right? He's gone from Manchester United, which are a huge club, but the Wales boss is already saying, like, it's better for us that he's gone to Leeds and to work under Marcelo Bielsa. And I think every Man United fan and a lot of Leeds fans and a lot of football fans recognise that he's actually going to do better at Leeds United because he's going to have someone who knows how to coach. Do you know what I mean? He spoke about the fitness levels because he said, you know, he believes that at Leeds United, he will become a complete player. You know, and he spoke about Tyler Roberts, and he says, I don't go down to details because that's down to Leeds, but we're privy to some of the information that goes on there. And I can tell you that Tyler's record over the last couple of years since he's been there, we've seen massive improvement in his fitness levels, his physique. And he says he's going to get that the exact same with Dan James, you know. And that's huge for Wales, but also for Leeds United, you know, that the Wales boss or the Welsh boss is saying, going to Leeds, it's better. Do you know what I mean? And just hearing his numbers in the game itself, honestly, I'm so excited to see him play. I know the jury's still out with a lot of Leeds fans, but believe me, he will be a fantastic signing for Leeds United. And that's why Bielsa went for him over a Kent, over a Noah Lang at 25 million, guys. You know? Liam Cooper as well has been getting some praise. Scotland plays Moldova. He came off the bench to get his 8th Scotland cap in their 1-0 win over Moldova. And Ali McCoy was lavishing praise at him, saying how the Cooper's brilliant at keeping the opposition at arm's length, marshalling the troops at the back, pushing them up. And that's why he is our captain. You know, you can not disregard that sort of experience and knowledge on the football pitch. And I think a lot of Leeds fans do and disregard him. But let's not forget, he's been Leeds United's club captain since 2015, man. 2015, you know, and I just wanted to get that in there. Yeah, he did play a massive amount of the game, but when he came up, they showed up the defence. He was marshalling the troops, and Ali McCoy was full of praise for Liam Cooper's impact on the Tartan Army. Just another player as well, guys, who's not currently at Leeds. He's on loan, but Alfie McCalmont got his first ever start at senior international level for Northern Ireland. Big shout out to Alfie McCalmont for that as well. Will we see him in a Leeds United shirt again? I'm not sure. But one thing's for sure, when he does move on, it's going to be, you know, that price has just gone up a little bit more because he's a fully fledged international footballer. Do you know what I mean? So big shout out Alfie McCalmont for getting his first senior call up at international level and getting a game, first ever start for him. We're now just going to move on really because just to a little bit of transfer news. Of course, we're still going to hear little bits and bats coming out after the transfer window shut. And it turns out that Leeds United target Lewis O'Brien is set for a new contract at Huddersfield Town. He's got 1 year left on his existing deal with Huddersfield have an option to extend for a further. But according to Alan Nixon in The Sun, now I know that might, you know, Alan Nixon, not so sure, but he was pretty bang on throughout the whole Lewis O'Brien saga. So I think he's pretty close to it. Said that the midfielder's happy. He wants to remain at the club despite the interest from Leeds United. Could it be that Huddersfield are protecting their asset a little bit so that they can get, you know, because let's say we get to January and he hasn't signed a new deal, Huddersfield might need to move on that 4 million that we offered. Maybe Leeds are playing a little bit of that. You know, maybe they wait till the summer and say, look, he's got 1 year. What are you going to do? Take the 4 million. So it's about protecting that asset, isn't it? We've seen Aston Villa do that with Jack Grealish, you know, saying, look, we want you on a new deal. You can go, but it'll be for 100 million. I'm not saying it's going to be anywhere close to that. Of course it's not, but you get what I'm saying, yeah? Another midfielder that was linked throughout as well was FC Midtjylland's Jens Kajusta. He was speaking about his disappointment that he didn't get the move to the Premier League, of course. There was links to Brentford because their owner owns Midtjylland and, of course, Leeds United as well. And he said, look, I was disappointed and hoped to take that next step to the Premier League, but I have to accept it and make the best out of the situation. I felt I was ready to take the next step, but that's how it is in football. I have to accept this. And he may be another player maybe we'll look at again in January. It'll be interesting to see what happens in January. Another former Leeds player, I know we were speaking about Alfie McCalmont, who's out on loan. Someone in that similar sort of bracket, of course, he's left on a permanent deal now, is Robbie Gotts. He's at Barrow FC. And after their 3-0 win at the weekend against Oldham, they asked their Twitter followers who the Bluebirds man of the match was. And of course, Robbie Gotts won it at 89.8%. And it was actually quite class to see FC Barrow actually quote tweet and say, I think Leeds fans have got involved in this, but 89.8% for Robbie Gotts on his debut for Barrow wins the man of the match, which is just brilliant. Leeds fans, just fantastic, aren't they? But that was it from your Daily Leeds, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, a bit of an international roundup and a few smackings there of transfer news. But yeah, look, I love doing this. I love this show. Thank you all so much for your support. We're now, Wednesday England game, and then we can proper ramp up the speed for that Liverpool game. I cannot wait. But before you leave, please do smash a like on the video. Enjoy your week, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace out now. Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.